What's up, YouTube? So, this video is going to be part of my Indians PC. Like when I did the whole, I think there was 15 different videos, something like that. This is a big part of my collection that I didn't show. Um, it was outside, locked up, and so I'm gonna go ahead and show these. They're all autographed baseballs that I've there's two of them. One of them is a non-Indian, and the other one's a TriStar. But all the other ones I've picked up in person. Um, and at the same time, unfortunately, most of these balls are autographed by players that aren't with the Indians anymore. Um, it sucks, but these guys aren't there anymore. That's all there is to it. Guys have been traded recently, um, and whatever, free agency and all that kind of stuff. But still, I have gotten all of these, but the two, like I said, in person. And this is kind of my curse, man. Like, I get you autograph a baseball for me, and within 2 years you're gone. So I'll just jump into them. It's not like blow you away stuff. It really isn't. Like, I don't. There's some big names that they're hard to get. That's all there is to it. When you're at games, and it's not like I get to go very often either. So, um, yeah, actually, I'm looking at a dozen balls right now, and there's two guys out of the dozen that are current Indians, maybe three. I'm not sure about one dude. Yeah, so all right, I got this one. This is the first time. This is the first go around I had at getting baseball signed, and we actually we own a timeshare. Um, as ridiculous as that sounds, we do, and one of our places to stay is actually in downtown Seattle, and it's right next to the Grand Hyatt in Seattle, and it's literally it's like 100 yards away. Um, and I guess before I get into this, I'll tell this funny story. So we were going. First of all, how did I do this? I brought a bunch of baseballs to try and get signed, um, and I brought some cards too. I had this all up in our room, and we took off, in the day before the game at nighttime. And we were gonna go get something to eat, and I walked. We walked by this hotel, and there's all these people standing out there, and like one dude's got a brand new bat, and the next dude's got kid's got this binder just chock full of cards, and I'm like, what are you guys doing out here? And this kid's like, oh, the Cleveland Indians are staying in there, and he's got Mariners crap on. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, dude, we're getting autographs all over the place out here. And he opens up his book and shows me. This was in gosh, was it? I don't know. It was '06 or '07. Anyway, had to have been '07. It was. Anyway, this kid opens up this freaking magical book of autographs, and literally everybody on the team he's got, and he's got multiples of them. And for like a quick second, I thought about punching that kid in the face and taking that notebook and just fleeing. And I didn't. I would have cried myself to sleep for months. If I was that kid's age. and that happened to me. Anyway, so I was like, dang man. So eating plans went right out the door. Um, I left Allison there outside with these weirdo dudes who every year I've done this since then, I've seen the same dudes outside. Um, and I, well, I'll get into it in a second. So anyway, I jet back to the to our resort, grab my backpack with all my balls and cards and stuff in it. I think I only got one card signed. Um, I I don't know why. I should have just got balls, but anyway, actually, I screwed up this story. These balls, the one I'm about to show, came from '08. I only had, that's what it was. I only have one baseball in '07, and I took it. That's why I got cards signed, because I was keeping the ball for the game to be able to like throw to a guy or whatever. So I guess I'll show him first. It was my first one. But anyway, so ever since then, I went back down there and I caught some guys coming out. A lot of them coming out, but none of them were signing. Um, Grady Sizemore pretended like he was talking on the phone. Travis Hafner made no indication that he was, even in the view of public. Literally hopped into a cab and was gone. Um, but I've showed it in cards, but I have a Paul Bird in-person autograph. Paul Bird got caught up in the steroid stuff for a little bit. Um, I think it was in '07 too, like right around the playoffs starting, and he admitted to it or whatever. Um, but anyway, whatever. Anyway, I got to sit outside of this hotel and talk to Paul Bird. Like he sat out there and BS with me for like 10 minutes about, I live in Oregon. Like, how did you become an Indians fan? Did you play high school baseball? Did you ever try anything after that? Who's your favorite college football team? All kinds of stuff. He was awesome. And anyway, I got him on a card because that was all I had. Um, but ever since then, I know where they stay, and they stay there every year. And then on the travel day, you can sneak around the back of the hotel and you can see their bus that's taking them off to the airport. And they're all in suits and stuff, because it's travel day. But they're out there, every one of them get onto that bus and head to the airport. So I've gotten dudes out there too. But anyway, so we're 8 minutes in and I haven't showed anything yet. So I'm going to get into these. I'm going to show the first ball I ever got signed. And it was awesome. And it is Casey Blake. So in '07, it was '06 or '07. I want to say it was '07 though. I got Casey Blake, and from there, man, it like I was obsessed with getting these balls signed. Like I said, they're not a bunch of big names. They're not, but they're guys that I could get, and I'm an Indians fan forever. So all these are cool to me because I got to interact with them in one way or another to get these signed. Here's the manager, Eric Wedge. Caught him outside of the hotel. So actually, it's a nice signature. I noticed that on these Rawlings balls, the signatures have started to fade. The other ones I have are on Nike balls, and some of them I've had for a few years, and there's no fading on the signature. These have also been kept out in a shed throughout the summer and the winter when it's snowing and stuff. I was real hesitant to do it, but I took the chance, and it's totally fine. Anyway, there's Eric Wedge, the manager who was fired. Let's just go from the top. I guess this would be one of the better ones. Fausto Carmona, who his real name is Roberto Hernandez. Carmona was a funny story because these two little old ladies at the stadium had this, red, white, and blue stitched all-star ball, and Carmona was an all-star that year. I want to say it was '08. It might have been '09. But anyway, so the ball was a Fausto Carmona ball, and they didn't know who he was, which is the case with a lot of freaking Mariners fans. They're like, "Who's that?" It's like, I tell you who that is. He's friggin' better than your guy. Um, anyway, they were like, "Here's Carmona," and so I'm pointing him out. He was actually playing first base, while they were doing infield, and he wasn't out shagging balls in the outfield, which was kind of funny. Anyway, he came back, and I said, "That's him." And they were like, "Oh, please sign for us, please sign, like sign for a couple little old ladies." And they had this all-star ball, and he did. Like you could tell he didn't want to, but he went over and signed for him. And I was sitting, I was literally putting the ball in his hand, And but he took it from me. He signed mine and was gone. He signed 2 balls that day, and that was it. I'd gotten his attention a couple of times in games though, where he's at the top of the dugout or whatever. I'm yelling at him. I got him to turn around, wave at me and stuff. But this is a current Indian. He's in the bullpen, and that's Nick Hagedorn. So there he is. It's cool being an Indians fan and kind of going to Seattle when you see some of these guys that aren't big names, but I'll watch them all year, and I yell out their name, and they're like, "Geez, man, this guy knows who I am." They come right over, and I've always said this, where people are like, "Mr. Hafner, would you please come over and sign my baseball? I'm a huge fan." You're a freaking homo, is what you are. I ain't going over to you to sign crap for you. Travis, I got a baseball. Come and sign it. Here's my pen. Yell something stupid at them. And they'll come over. At least they'll look at you and know that you're there instead of Mr. Hafner, The guy's still only 35 years old. Some of these other guys are like 22, 23. Here's Trevor Crow. He's gone. I don't remember who he got picked up by. But he's also an Oregonian. Played baseball for Arizona, not Arizona State. So there's Trevor Crow. That was a cool one because I actually wanted him. I like Trevor Crow a lot. This is probably my favorite. At the time, James and his brother and his grandpa were at the game too, along with me and my brother and Allison and stuff like that. My brother, they skipped their 10-year high school reunion to go to an Indians-Mariners game. And the pitcher, he's still an Indian too. The relief pitcher for the Indians, David Huff, was walking by, and they yelled, "My last name's Huff too." And he spun his head around, and I said, he said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, come and sign for us." There's the autograph. And he said, I gotta go shag balls. And I said, "Well, come back when you're done." And he said, "I will." Yeah, when they say that, don't expect him to come back. But he did. And James gave it back to me, but James got a ticket stub signed. I gave my brother a ball. He got that signed. My brother felt like a schmuck because he called him Aubrey, like Aubrey Huff. And David Huff was like, "It's David." Like he gets it, all the time. Keith, my brother Keith, still like, it's like a sore subject. Anyway, so we got to talk to him for a minute or whatever, so that was cool. I got a picture taken with him. Anyway, this guy got traded, last year, or maybe in the off season. He's gone. Here's another guy that I yelled his name. It came right over. That's Aaron Cunningham. It's a nice autograph too. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty sweet looking. So again, none of these guys. Like I saw Joe Show Your Hits picture on Facebook of all those autographs. Like that's pretty outstanding. This is the ugliest person I've ever met in my life, Rafael Perez. I literally hand you a blank baseball, and you sign right there. Like, worst spot you could have signed. Literally, the worst spot on the ball you could have signed. But he signed. So here's a guy that I'm not sure he's still with them. I don't think he is. If he is, he's in AAA. That's Hector Ambriz. Um, Here's another guy. I got outside of the hotel. I got to talk to him for a little bit too. He was super nice. It was a lot of fun. This one's faded quite a bit actually. The pleather is soaking up the ink. But that is Jamie Carroll, utility guy. He's a solid baseball player. That's all there is to it. Um, so I got to talk to him for a little bit outside. That was cool. Uh, let's see. This is the guy that I thought James gave me the card of, but it wasn't, or whatever. Jordan Brown. I'm not sure if he's still in the organization. If he is, he's in AAA. But there's Jordan Brown. So I mean, like Jordan Brown, like this guy's like a September call up type deal, right? And he gets the call. He's in a city that's not Cleveland, and if somebody yells out his name like, "Hey Jordan, come and sign," like he came right over like nothing. So that's kind of the plus of going after Indians. Here's Jensen Lewis. He is not with them anymore either. I don't know where he was. The last time I heard he was like Diamondbacks. Pretty sure he's Diamondbacks. Um, and last one in this case is Mitch Talbot. He is not an Indian either anymore. And he went overseas and pitched in like Japan, and then, but I think he came back. I think he's back in the minors or something. So only a few more to show. Oops, I'll save that one. Here's Tony Sipp. He is with the Diamondbacks. Went in the Shin-Soo Choo, Trevor Bauer deal. I've actually tried to get Sipp a couple of times just because I had balls left over and I wasn't doing very good. It's like I've gotten Chris Perez a couple of times. And speaking of Shin-Soo Choo, I caught him getting onto the bus, headed back to the airport. I wish he would have signed the sweet spot. But when I first started doing this, I was kind of timid. I just hand them the ball and they'd sign it, say thank you. I got the little more gusto now to be like, sign the sweet spot. And anyway, there's Shin-Soo Choo. I was bummed to see him go too. He went in the Choo deal to the Reds also. That's Jason Donald. I like Jason Donald a lot. Anyway, there's Jason Donald. Who we got next? Okay. Okay. Here's Chris Perez. Chris Perez is a card collector. And so when you yell out for him to sign, first of all, he's the closer, so he never has a starting day. So he always signs. I've actually passed on him before, and I felt kind of like a schmuck too. Perez is signing autographs, and I'm in all Indian stuff, and he looks over to me and is like waiting for me to say Perez, will you sign my ball too? And I didn't say it, and I felt kind of like a schmuck. I should have just got it again. I traded one to Seatown. It took me forever to send it to him, but anyway. So I have 3 more baseballs. The last one is a non-Indian. Okay, so I have four more. Here is a current Indian, and hopefully he gets back to form. This was like the best one that I got the last time I went, and that's Ubaldo Jimenez. Um, he was real good too, man. I yelled out, Ubaldo, Ubaldo, will you sign my ball? He came right up. He came right over. He didn't hesitate. So that was cool. A lot of people. I tell you what, Seattle on the third baseline. When I'm at games, a lot of people benefit from me yelling at these guys' names because they don't know who they are. You know, don't get me wrong. You know who Ubaldo Jimenez is. Some of these other guys they don't know, and you know they get signatures. I've tried for Carlos Santana. He's tough because he's out catching the starting pitchers. They're all business during the games. Um, I've tried a couple of times now and gotten him. This is one of my favorites because he's a retired Indian and he's still with the organization. And it's a crazy awesome autograph, and that is Sandy Alomar Jr. I don't know in any way that says Sandy Alomar Jr., but it does. Anyway, he was funny too because he was like, it was with these little old ladies too. They got something signed by him, and they were like, Sandy Alomar, come over and sign or whatever. And he came over. You can tell he was like, kind of didn't want to. Because he was like, man, look, I'm not playing baseball. You know, I'm not a baseball player anymore. Look, you know, get these guys' autographs. These guys are playing now. So he was really humble about it or whatever. But he signed for us. I got that. He didn't sign a lot either. So that was cool. And then the last one is a TriStar ball. We got the little hologram and the real baseball. And it's Johnny Peralta, who he's a free agent right now, I think, but you know, he was last with Detroit. I don't know if you can see. This ball has grease all over it. Look at that. This has been there ever since I got it, too. There's grease there, and it's literally like he was holding the ball like this. There's grease under every one of these fingers and signing his name. Like he was eating like chicken nuggets or something. And was literally like, I got the greasy chicken nugget ball. The cool thing about this ball is James, 5-on-5-2, he had a buddy that bought one of those mystery grab bag, whatever type baseballs, you know, $50 from TriStar, and opened it up. It was Johnny Peralta. I got the certificate somewhere too. It was Johnny Peralta, and the dude was totally bummed and was like, I don't even know who Johnny Peralta is. Let's go freaking play baseball with this baseball because, you know, it's a real ball. And James said, hey, Johnny Peralta's an Indian. I know a dude that's a huge Indians fan. Let me give it to him. So James hooked me up with this Peralta ball. Like back when I first started collecting again. Yeah, that was awesome. So there's Peralta. This last one is kind of a funny story because this is also a real baseball. It was obtained at a signing, not a signing that I went to. There's the realness of the ball. You can tell that it's old. Because that's what they look like now with Bud Selig as the commissioner. Back then there wasn't a commissioner. It was the president of the American League. I don't know what the guy's name is, but it's Gene A. something. Anyway, so it's kind of cool because it's an older ball. The funny story about this ball is my grandma called me one day, like out of the blue, and said, hey, I have something for you that I think that you're going to be interested in. It's a baseball. It's signed. It's old. and I don't know who it is. So I'm like thinking gold. Like, does somehow Grandma have like a Ty Cobb baseball like stashed away in a box somewhere? So I got over there and or maybe she gave it to my parents or something. So I see my parents and she literally like it comes in the cardboard box that the ball is usually in, wrapped up and everything. And I'm thinking, holy crap, this is gonna be like this could be an absolute nobody, or this could be something really cool. It was about halfway in between, but for a second there, I had my delusions of grandeur, thinking like, here we go, Babe Ruth. And yeah, it didn't quite turn out that way. But my grandma's best friend years and years ago went to a signing of Don Larson. And it says, to Meredith, best wishes, Don Larson, 10/8/56, which is, the day that he threw the perfect game in the World Series. 10/8/56. He's a Hall of Famer. It is personalized, but I also, told my grandma that, I'd never get rid of this, and I won't. But there's my only non-Indian baseball, and it wasn't. At least it was a Hall of Famer. Like it's the only guy to ever throw a perfect game in playoffs, even. Um, let alone a World Series. So this freaking this top prospect list is a joke. I hate this top prospect list. Anyway, that's my balls. Um, and that'll do it. I know it's a long video, but I really do have fun talking about these things and when I've gotten them and stuff like that. So thanks for watching. Every year we go to a new game, I get new balls. So I always take a dozen. Some of them end up being played with because I don't get them signed. I think I still have like 6 or 7 brand new balls in a bag somewhere. Um, I'd like to go to a game this year, but to be honest, we don't want to go to Seattle. I'd rather go to Oakland, but well, I'd rather go to Oakland anyway. But last year wasn't very pleasant for us going up to Seattle, so we're not going to be going up there anytime soon. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Later.